Hello and welcome to episode 3 of The Wizard, Filth Fever. Last time, Aribhin was brought before Underlord Myaz Lorezi, where he freely admitted to breaking and entering into Limo Torque's house in search of clues. As his penance, the Underlord commanded Aribhin down into the dark, where he treated with and eventually fought an Otyug called the Lord of Stench. She assigned 2 marble guards to accompany him. With the help of the guards, the Lord was slain. Inside his belly, partially dissolved, was the corpse of Limo Torque, which they then hauled back up into the city of Lolithir. And that's where we begin.
So you said we're going to be passing by the Late Light Inn, near it, or at least?
No, the Late Light Inn is sort of deeper into like the warehouse industrial district, which is like off to your right. And it's still like maybe a 15, 20-minute walk into that neighborhood from where you are, whereas the Marble Palace is directly left.
15, 20 minutes isn't that far away.
So do you start walking that way? Because Anasar and Jaco are just there with Limo's like partially dissolved body. Like they just managed to get it into a wagon.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to go to my tavern. I'm gonna take a bath.
They're like, Anasar's like, don't you think that you should speak with the Underlord first?
What do you think would offend her more, walking in like this or walking in late?
I don't know. I don't know her. He's like, I'm ready to be. I'm wiped. I'm ready to be done for the day. I'm not going to stand here and wait for you.
Well,
Jaco's like still like he's got a hand on his stomach from barfing and hurling so much, and he's just like, yeah, I don't want to wait here either.
All right, fine.
All right, so you all begin marching back down through the flat over towards the Marble Palace. A general reek about you that seems to drive away the other citizens of Lolithir as you make your way, eventually kind of merging onto the Marble Way, which is the big kind of central road heading all the way to the palace. Seriously, it's like the parting of the Nile as you walk down with the wagon, escorting the wagon. It's just everyone moves off to the side. It's just really most of the stink probably comes from the partially dissolved digested body of Limo Torque. But as you head through, it takes you a little while to reach the gates of the Marble Palace. And as you get there, guards standing out front just like before, a female goblin approaches, comes up, 3 feet, maybe to your knee or something, comes up and she just holds up a hand, looks up at you, and she's like, all right, stop. She's like, what is this? And you sigh, and Anasar and Jaco step forward and kind of communicate what's happened. And she's like, all right, wait a minute. And she heads in, disappears for a few minutes, leaving you guys out there just to stand exhausted, and returns a while later, turns to Jaco and Anasar, and she goes, you two take the rest of the day off and take off tomorrow too. You return to the Marble Palace after the dusk bells ring tonight.
All right. I mean, I could have just come. Okay. All right. Fine. Okay. Fine. Whatever. And then I get up. I invite Jaco and Anasar to the Late Light and tell them like drinks are on me, and also to invite everyone they know.
Make a diplomacy check.
Okay. Okay, that's good. 23.
23? Okay. Yeah. You see that like you are shocked that this works on Anasar in particular, who has taken some damage for sure, and is also just wore out. Jaco is like, I mean, I don't know about Anasar here, but goblins, we got iron guts, so I've been hurling, but oh man, I could take a drink right now.
Okay, good. I'm gonna trudge my way back to the late light. Do I feel any symptoms of this filth fever setting in?
At this point, you begin to, yes. You begin to feel pretty disgusting, like nauseous. You begin to feel a little chilled, yet a sweat breaks out on your skin as this is all about the time that you're reaching the late light inn. You kind of pull do you have a coat with you?
No.
Okay, so you're
Probably in my room.
You're kind of just like crossing your arms, kind of holding yourself a little bit closer.
Yeah.
You're like, God damn, did a wind pick up? Like what happened? But so you begin to feel suddenly very cold, but again, breaking out in sweats. You begin to feel kind of achy and sore, nauseous. Your mouth begins to feel kind of dry and disgusting. You are sickened 1.
Ooh. All right, great. Should I bother looking up the
It doesn't apply right now. Yeah,
Okay,
it's
okay.
just you're moving a little bit more sluggishly than normal. But should combat break out, there will be consequences.
Okay, great.
You head back into the late light.
I throw the door open. I need a bath.
One is poured for you pretty quickly. Hirak actually gets on his wife quite a bit to move faster because of how much you have won him over at this point. And eventually you kind of get into the bath. Jaco has followed you here.
Oh, great.
So
One for this guy, too.
okay, so they pour one for Jaco as well, and he's like, "Hey, thanks." And they're kind of like arranged in a way where like there's a tub and then like a kind of a stall wall that goes up, but you could chat to Jaco across the wall in his bath if you would like. Or there's just awkward silence as you two are bathing a few feet from one another.
Yeah, we'll probably be like silent for a few minutes and then like make small talk. Like,
Sure.
What do you do for fun?
Yeah, we're gonna learn about this random goblin guard's life, and learn about his family, his upbringing. Eventually, you get out, and Anasar arrives. You see with a few buddies of his that also appear to be off-duty guards for the
Nice.
city. Jaco recognizes a few, and suddenly you're drinking in the late light inn with a handful of the Undercity's finest, and they all begin drinking hard.
Hell yeah. Well, fuck yeah. Okay.
At a certain point, the dusk bells begin to ring.
Okay.
This is probably after a few hours of drinking, though.
Okay. Oopsie. I'll go up to Harak. Be like, I'll be back later and I'll pay this tab and I'll pay what it is now so that you know I'm not lying.
Okay, you go ahead and settle up for, we'll call it 4 gold pieces.
That's nothing. Fuck yeah. Hell yeah. I'm fucking rich. All right, great. All right, I'm out.
All right. So you begin to head back out to the Marble Palace, leaving all these people that you have summoned over to this random bar in the like warehouse industrial district of the Undercities, leaving them all behind as you kind of slightly wobble out back into the city, somewhat sobering up on the way. The same guard is there as before. She lets you inside, and she's like, "All right, follow me."
All right.
But instead, this time of being led up to the main double doors of the castle, you're kind of led off to the side, like the right side of the palace, to just a random side entrance, essentially. That's opened up. You go down like a brief, dark hallway. As I mentioned before, the Marble Palace is kept pretty dim. There's no real reason for a ton of light for the denizens of Lolithir. And then there's kind of an open doorway on the right that you are ushered towards. And inside, you can see a circular room with a large table in the center. On the table is Limo Torque's partially dissolved body, just kind of like spread out a little bit. There's an attempt to dignify it a little bit by like having its arms and legs straight and everything, but it just looks awful, and like much of the skin has just fallen off, or not even fallen off, but been absorbed by that Utgug. Yeah. But standing on the opposite side of the doorway as you enter is the Underlord, wearing the same white dress as earlier and looking very tired. Her hair is partially fallen out of its bun, lying fuzzily around her shoulders. And beside the table to your left is an also tired-looking umbral gnome. Middle-aged, maybe mid-200s, with shoulder-length white hair. She's got like dark robes, fancy red slippers, and she's got a bunch of rings and jewelry on. And as you enter, mostly sobered up, but still just a tinge of it. You're not sure if it's the illness that's plaguing you or the booze, or if the booze is making it even worse, but you don't feel very good right now. In fact, the drinking has made you even more nauseous. And as you walked here, you're like, I hope I don't puke in the Marble Palace. If you wouldn't mind, could you make a fortitude save for me?
Yes. All right, 21.
21. Okay. You managed to hold it together on your walk here. And as you enter, and you're just like, oh, thank God. But you see the umbral gnome turns to the Underlord, and she goes, does he always look this bad? And the Underlord kind of like looks over at you and looks back, and she goes, I'm not sure. Could be an above her thing. And looks over, they both look over to you.
I'm like affronted. No, I don't always look this bad, okay? It's been a long day. I think I've contracted something from the refuse heaps.
You see that the umbral gnome turns over, she goes, oh, yes, you probably did, actually. And you see her think for a moment. She's like, Underlord, Higla could look at that, right? And the Underlord's like, yes, we'll get you looked at later.
Thank you.
The Underlord kind of sighs and she goes, well, it appears that you found him. Thank you. As I mentioned before, of course, we will be waiving any possible charges for breaking and entering. We appreciate your help here. Since you found him, we figured that we would allow you to come and witness our questioning of him. I am curious, what caused this investigation for Sunwalker Enterprise to lead to poor Limo here?
Well, I think that's largely what I'm investigating. I had a very narrow lead.
Well, hopefully all of us can learn something here today. Relazir, and you see the umbral gnome kind of steps forward. You see there's a kind of... make a quick Arcana check for me if you don't mind.
Is she casting a spell?
She's about to, but this is a separate thing I'm having you roll for.
Okay. Okay, so that's 32.
32. Clearly this umbral gnome, you can just feel it radiating off of her. There is some sort of magic coursing through this umbral gnome. Not in a divine way. She doesn't appear to be a cleric of any kind. She appears to have some sort of sorcerer's bloodline to her. As she steps forward, she sort of begins to like play with this kind of like magical essence between her hands, and she turns to you and she goes, before I begin, are there any questions that you would like to ask? Possibly could see if any of ours sync up.
Oh, ask Limo. Right. Oh God. Can I Autumn have a minute to think?
Yeah.
Where these people were from would be a good one.
She's like, I'm assuming you've never interrogated a corpse before.
No.
Well, we should probably ask questions that he would know. But I was perhaps just thinking to ask what he learned of these people who he spoke with.
Yes.
In broader terms like that.
Yeah, that would be great.
Another one I was thinking is perhaps to ask what they wanted of him.
Mm-hmm. Is there like a time limit on this spell?
Well, we only get 3 questions.
Oh. Maybe those first 2 questions are good ones to start with, and then whatever we don't get answered, go from there.
All right, yeah, that sounds good. So I should start with can you tell us what you learned of these people that...
Yes.
Okay. All right, and you see her kind of, again, that kind of, it doesn't feel like shadow magic or anything like that, but it just feels strange. There's a strange kind of inky, dark, violet quality to it. And you're not quite sure. If you want to make a quick occultism check.
Sure. 25.
There's a distant, strange quality to this magic that she's playing with here. Something of elsewhere. You have read about and heard about various sorceress bloodlines being some of them are draconic, some of them are fey. This one feels connected to something very difficult to comprehend and something very vague and possibly sinister. But as she goes ahead and casts this spell, she weaves that magic, and you see it kind of creep forward, like tendrils creeping forward down into the body of Limo Torque. And you watch as it kind of stiffens and suddenly shivers and convulses on the table a little bit, and you hear this kind of rasping guttural sound emerging from Limo Torque's throat as you wonder, is this spell going to work? Is there enough there to even cause a voice to emerge? Because much of the skin is dissolved, and you can see that as he's convulsing, you see his mouth kind of snap open. Some of his tongue has dissolved. Basically, he's barely going to be able to speak here. And if he was much longer in that Otyug's belly, you're not sure if this would have worked. So she asks, Limo, it's me, Relazir. Sorry you're dead. Could you tell us a bit about the people that did this to you? And you see Limo Torque kind of like turn his head, like dissolved ear on one side, like just showing skull beneath. The other one is kind of still intact a little bit. Eyes mostly gone. Turns to her. Drow. 12 or more. Leader was woman. Older. She looked burnt on one half. Another could have been leader. Old, wrinkled, mean looking. He had long, sharp knife on his belt. Their teeth were filed. Spoke Sackroth. Thing they thought I could not understand. They'd come from Flamehold. And then she kind of steps back and she's like, all right, what was your name? Aribhin, what was the second question?
What kind of information they were looking for?
Oh, yes. Nemo, why did they want you? What did they want with you? He has not, once he locked onto her with his dead, mostly dissolved eyes, he has not moved like at all. The convulsions are over. He's just kind of like staring at her. Offered me gold to ask questions about Ibarian society, about how to move throughout Ibaria. How does the crosslink work? What is Crossroad like? And asked about the Enterprise. At this point, Relazir she's like, I've got one more question. Underlord, do you have anything? And the Underlord is like, I don't know.
maybe we should ask what happened in his last moments. What was your last interaction with them like?
Well, yeah, sure, we could ask that. Relazir just turns to him. She goes, what was your last interaction with them like? What happened? Only saw them once. After they filled me with drink, said they would take me home. Instead, led me to the ledge, stabbed me, and pushed me into the dark. And then after that, you just you hear like a gasp of air, just, and his body goes limp once again. And the Underlord, you see again, I'll reiterate, they both look exhausted here. The Underlord has been fairly quiet and just observant this whole time. And she's kind of like got her hands on the table in front of her, like leaning forward at this point, kind of puts an elbow on it and kind of holds up her head. And she's like, well, I didn't get much out of that. But did you?
I got another very narrow lead. Other than that, not really. So, any chance we can do it again?
Relazir, the Underlord turns to Relazir at this point because the Underlord doesn't know. And Relazir just says, possibly, but it would take another week or so. I don't know if his body will hold out for another week or so.
Right.
But I can try. Do you have a week?
Well, I don't see why not.
The Underlord is like, I don't want to hold you here for a week. I appreciate what you've done. So, how about this? If my mage is able to cast this again in a week, I can have word forwarded of any pertinent details to you.
Well, I would appreciate that. Honestly, most of my questions, I don't think he'd be ever able to answer anyways, so. But this is something, I suppose.
Well, for now, I'll find someone here in the palace to put you up for the night, and I'll have my healer come and take care of you.
I do have an inn at the...
The healer is here in the Marble Palace. I'm not going to have... It's going to take... You look pretty bad. It's going to take a little while to...
Oh, okay.
At this point, though, you feel so terrible that you don't even know that you could stand the walk back.
Okay.
She's like, all right, well, I have another very busy day tomorrow. I'm going to go to bed. And she like comes up to you and like puts like a hand on your arm and just looks at you. She's like, do try to punish the ones responsible for Limo's death if you find them. He was a friend.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do my best.
And pass along my thanks to the Enterprise.
Oh. Yeah, okay.
And she heads out. Relazir comes up, extends a hand.
Where does your magic come from?
You know as well as I do.
I know that feeling. All right. Good night. I like stumble as I'm like going wherever I'm going.
So some servants come to collect you. The Underlord kind of steps out and like mutters something to some guards, and they escort you to a room. Short time after, you kind of like drifting in and out of consciousness in this like the bedroom that you're brought into is like pitch black. So you like stumble over to the bed and lay down, kind of fading in and out of consciousness. Eventually, you open your eyes and a female hobgoblin is like over you, and she's like, calm down. And you see like she's pulled back the blankets, and she's like touching your neck and feeling your temperature and stuff.
Could have asked before you came in at least.
So she begins to treat you, and you're fading in and out of sleep. But let's see here. You are treated You don't get a good night's sleep. You're awake on and off for this hobgoblin treating you in medicine. And she's like putting different tinctures, different like ointments on you, and then also like dumping some sort of concoction down your throat at some point. And overall, it's basically like being in a hospital a little bit, but in a strangely black room and with a hobgoblin looming over you. But the next morning, you mostly are feeling better, and this disease has been treated.
Great.
So you no longer have filth fever.
Yay!
You did get to keep Limo's pendant.
Oh, great. I wanted to track down someone. Basically, I want to ask someone about these coins. Like, if they might know where they... Okay, so you said they look weird. Does it look weird in a way that someone, like an expert in coins, might know?
Okay, actually, as you take a look at them again, you realize now, taking a look that you're not fevered anymore, you're feeling better. Post questioning Limo Torque, you realize that these coins were minted in the Flamehold. These coins like bear on one side like the symbol of the city of Flamehold. So you realize essentially that some of these gold pieces come from that city.
Okay, interesting. So, my long sharp knife, flame hold. I'll just keep. I don't know. My thoughts now are just. I guess I'll go to the flame hole and keep asking around for sightings of strange people. I mean, what am I supposed to do with this?
Mm-hmm. I would say that Arvin's definitely feeling very like how far am I going to have to chase this random trail from place to place? Like, is it ever going to stop? Because this is like the second entire new city you've come to on like barely much of a lead. Now you have another lead that's barely anything.
Yeah.
I feel like that Arvin may begin to be feeling like, oh my Lord, like how long can this go on for? And like how long is this breadcrumb trail going to go?
I feel like I'm just kind of floundering outside of the Marble Palace. I'm like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? You know what? I'm getting a little irritated with the Enterprise because I feel like this would be a lot easier of an investigation if I got any more background information.
Yeah. Your frustration and your unknowing of is this going to just keep going forever is coupled with a feeling of irritation of like clearly the Enterprise knows more than they're letting on. Even if your contact Kathos doesn't necessarily know, someone in the Enterprise, possibly Sunwalker himself, is withholding information from you, which is making your job harder.
Yeah.
And you're beginning to feel frustrated at this wild goose chase that you're on with no solid help.
Yeah. I'm out here crawling around in filth, risking my life in so many different ways. And I am also having a hard time. Getting laid. I'm having a hard time getting laid as well. Okay. Well, I guess I'm going to just wander around and sightsee a little bit.
Okay. Okay, you wander around, you sightsee a bit. You travel around the flat. You kind of wander up to the overlook for a little while. Maybe even dip over to the hole for a bit. Check out that neighborhood, and eventually make your way back to the late light to settle up your bill there. Do you want to inquire about a guild caravan?
Since I have nothing else, I do have a last curiosity in the city. I would like to finally talk to this necromancer.
Okay. Okay. So you head back to the Radow Mansion or the Radow Manor. There are no longer marble guards posted outside, but the overseer's guards are still there. It's not the same exact ones, but they have been cycled out. The gate awaits you. There is a bell, as I've said, at the side of the gate that you were able to ring. But the manor itself sits back a ways from the gate.
Okay.
So you ring the bell.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. You ring the bell. It's probably about, I don't know, roughly 11 o'clock in the morning. You hear a ding, and you hear an echo of it off in the manor itself. A moment passes before the door creaks open, leading into the manor. It's like big double doors, and a little bit of candlelight spills out. And a figure not holding a candle, but a figure steps out and just from afar just goes, "Hello?"
Wait, how far away is this?
This is maybe about 25, 30 feet.
Wait, can I see this person?
Make a perception check. It's difficult in the dark.
Oh.
Like there is the lights of the cities don't extend as much to his yard as they do the rest of the city, and the angle that he's in is kind of in shadow.
Oh, okay. 18.
18. You see a human looking figure in height, very pale skin from what you can tell just in the shadow, but that's all you can really get from here.
Who
is it?
My name is Aribhin Foundling.
What's your business?
I'm a student of magic, and I thought it would be interesting. I've never really encountered a necromancer before, so I thought it could be kind of cool to chat.
Make a diplomacy check, please.
14.
14. Okay. 14. The shadow slowly slinks back inside, the door shuts.
All right. If he's got dead bodies and nobody's investigating it, it's not my problem. Whatever.
Okay. And so Aribhin shuffles off back into the city.
Yeah. He's like, I'm fucking bored. I'm gonna leave.
Okay.
I'm gonna take some like plant clippings and press them in my notebook too as I go. But yeah, I'm bored. I don't have anything really holding me here. I don't have any friends, and I know my sister is down around abouts in Halasar, so I don't necessarily mind to wander around a bit more.
Okay.
So I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna get a guild caravan.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you eventually, yes, you settle up your debt and bill at the late light, and the guild caravans arrive and leave, fairly frequently. I'll say just for we won't have to role play this whole thing, but you have to wait an extra night at the late light before a guild caravan is going to depart in the morning. So you end up leaving the next day, and spend another couple days back in the guild caravan, heading back the opposite direction, heading back through the damned woods, passing the mountains, this time on your right and everything. Until a couple days pass, and around noon, you reach the city of Starspire once again.
Oh, wow.
As you approach the city, though, you do notice that, like, you can see the city, like, maybe about an hour, 2 hours out. But as you grow closer and closer, you can see storm clouds begin to gather and swirl around the city itself, crackling with lightning and thunder and pelting down rain. But only kind of in the area around the city. It doesn't extend miles. It just extends like on the city and around the city and like the farmland and crop fields and everything. And you can see at the top of the spire, the titular star spire, is radiating a glow of shifting colors. One moment seeming blue, the next yellow. The guild caravan will essentially pass out some coverings for you and some cloaks to pull over for those that don't have raincoats and cloaks on them right now. So as you head back into the city, you're getting stormed on, basically. And I guess technically you're in a wagon. But as you get out, they make sure to kind of like give you a little bit of covering and guide you to a little overhang near the stables. Winds pick up, wailing and moaning, and it's overall like unpleasant as you arrive to Starspire, but it appears to be of some sort of magical means, this storm.
Very cool. I suppose I'm going to check at the crosslink, see if I've got any messages firstly.
You head back to the crosslink. You probably hire a carriage in this weather to take you all the way from the stables to the crosslink. There's like a miserable looking old man on like the front of this carriage with like a hood pulled over his head. The horses themselves just getting like pounded with rain.
Yeah.
But he appreciates the gold. You climb in no time at all. You're over at the crosslink station. Only have to run through the rain just a moment as it kind of patters down onto the dirt floor over around the crosslink. Stepping up onto the crosslink station, this is covered, and you head up to essentially where like you buy tickets. You also at the crosslink station can send messages. You can check in and see if you've gotten any. So I don't know if we've talked about this before, but essentially one can send a message to someone via the crosslink station, and no matter where they are in Ibaria, if they check in at a crosslink station and a message is waiting for them, then they can read that there. So you don't have to send it to a specific place. You can just send it to the person, and once that person checks in at the crosslink station, they can receive the message.
Hell yeah.
You see, you do have a message waiting for you. A letter.
Oh!
On the front of this envelope, you just see Aribhin.
Ah! Okay, I open it. I'm so happy to get mail.
Okay, you open it, and this is the message.
Okay.
Aribhin, I hope that you're faring well out on your adventures and that you have not gotten yourself hurt or into too much trouble. And immediately you know this is from Shinois.
Aww. I'm like happy, but I'm like, I need something like meteor.
It continues. I'm praying to all the gods above that this letter reaches you soon. Don't worry, nothing's wrong. But I have received messages from both Kabash and Amira that they'll be back in the city within the next week or so.
What? Oh.
It continues. If you have any free time on your busy schedule, it would make me so happy if you could come back to Crossroad for some family time. But if you're unavailable to, don't worry yourself over it. I know that you're a busy boy these days.
How long ago did she send this?
Well, you're not done reading it yet.
Oh, shit.
Okay. It says, P.S. I'm also sending letters via the crosslink to Theo and Gilead to see if they'd be able to come home for a visit.
Fuck yeah, fuck yeah, fuck yeah. Okay. Is it done now?
It's done now.
Okay, how long ago did you send
So
it?
you run back over, you read this, and you're like, you run back over to the clerk here at this crosslink station. He looks up, he's like, 1 second, and he kind of goes back in the logs. This was sent 3 days ago?
Okay, I need a ticket to Crossroad, please.
Okay, yes, sir. That will be, and then you immediately show your Sunwalker Enterprise badge. He's like, okay, well, one should be arriving later today, so.
Woo! Yeah. Okay, great. Oh, thank you.
So, it's safe to say.
Yeah.
You're heading back to Crossroad?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Fuck Flamehold. I'll go there later, probably.
Well, you'd have to be walking there anyway, or getting joining some sort of caravan or whatever, or getting a horse. So either way, you go, you grab a drink. A crosslink train arrives later that day, and you board it, realizing that in just a few days' time, you're going to see at least 2 of your siblings for the first time in years.
Yeah.
And that's where we'll leave off.
Yeah. Okay. Yippee.
Yippee.
I'm so happy.
All right.
Great. Woohoo.